Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this special assembly as we conclude Cancer Awareness Week, an initiative led by the Prometheus School Interact Club. Today, as we come together to mark the end of this impactful campaign, we're honored to have with us Mr. Sharma, our chairman, and Mr. Abraham, our school director, and Miss Anisha, the primary school principal. We extend a warm welcome to you and thank you for your unwavering support in making this initiative a success.
Cancer affects millions, but awareness, early detection, and support save lives. Through this campaign, our Interact Club aimed to spread knowledge, challenge misconceptions, and inspire action within our school and beyond.
One of our biggest achievements was the cancer screening drive, where we conducted over 300 screenings for breast, cervical, and oral cancer for our teachers and support staff. A huge thank you to all the volunteers and medical professionals who made this possible.
To emphasize the importance of early detection and cancer prevention, we are honored to welcome a leader in the fight against cancer.
Please join us in welcoming Dr. Pawan Gupta, a senior surgical oncologist and founder of I Can Care, an initiative helping people quit tobacco, one of the leading causes of cancer.
Dr. Gupta has over 23 years of experience in cancer treatment and awareness, with more than 7,000 successful surgeries to his name. He has worked with some of India's most prestigious medical institutions and is actively involved in research and patient advocacy.
Beyond surgery, he is a mentor and a social activist dedicated to educating people about cancer prevention and early detection. His work has transformed lives across India.
We are privileged to have him here with us today. Let's give him a warm round of applause.
Now we invite Dr. Pawan Gupta to share his insights.
Hi everyone. And first and foremost, let me thank Samaira for inviting me. She connected with me. Where is Samaira? Samaira, I'm really grateful to you and I really appreciate the work that you are doing. And then when I heard that you have already done some screening program here, that is another amazing thing that you have done, and specifically for the oral lesions. Just a question to you all, why did you take this oral as the main target? What made you think that oral is the most important? Anyone? Who initiated it? Samara, you initiated the screening program? Yeah, so just give me a thought. What made you think that oral is there are so many cancers, but why you thought about oral cancer? Yeah, you can.
Oh, are you asking? Okay.
I'm asking you.
I think it's not like discussed about a lot because there's a lot of awareness for breast cancer, cervical cancer. However, for oral cancer, it's not very well known. Yeah.
Well, that's really a great thought. And I think if this is inculcated into the minds of the children, oral cancer is one cancer which is commonest in India. It is a public health problem. It's just not a cancer. It is a disease which is lasting from, it starts unknown to the person and it goes on till he actually dies. And that is oral cancer is one disease. Yeah, is it okay? Hi. Am I audible? Yeah, thank you. So oral cancer is one disease which is easily preventable, easily diagnosable, and easily treatable. Do you understand the three things? I think we have got children from class 6, 5 onwards. So मेरे को थोड़ा सा all अच्छे से English समझ में आ रहा है? Everyone? Wonderful. So I will try to be as simple as possible. Oral cancer, Hindi is also okay. थोड़ा सा हिंदी अगर मिक्स कर दूं, है? थोड़ा अच्छे से समझ में और अच्छे से समझ में आएगा? Wonderful. So oral cancer एक ऐसा disease है जो बड़ा कॉमन है, हर जगह फैला हुआ है, काफी लोगों तक फैला हुआ है. ओरल कैंसर एक ऐसा डिजीज है जो जल्द से जल्द पकड़ में आ सकती है, ठीक हो सकती है, और सबसे ज्यादा उसको हम अवॉइड कर सकते हैं, उसको प्रिवेंट कर सकते हैं. बट इंडिया में अनफॉर्चुनेटली ओरल कैंसर is the king of all cancers. That means we have got the highest number of oral cancers in the entire world में जितने oral cancers होते हैं, केवल इंडिया में ही उतने oral cancers होते हैं. We are the highest in the world. Right? So, if you will look at the whole system, and today if I am going to talk about this specifically, what to do in the intervention at your age, आप लोग क्या कर सकते हो? आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग दैट कि आप लोगों में किसी को ओरल कैंसर नहीं होगा. होगा किसी को? कौन बोला? हाथ हिला के बोलो. केवल एक? और सब लोग? सारे लोग हाथ हिला के बोलेंगे? कुछ नहीं बोल रहे, कुछ पीछे जो बैठे वो हाथ भी नहीं हिला रहे. या किसी को होने का चांस है? या वहां पर कुछ कुछ बैठे? वंडरफुल. वी आर नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग, राइट? एंड वी एटलीस्ट डोंट वांट एनीवन ऑफ यू टू हैव. केवल ओरल कैंसर ही नहीं, वी डोंट वांट एनी अदर कैंसर टू हैपन. सो जस्ट टू पुट इट, so this is our campaign, what we call it a Save the Youth campaign, and we are doing it in the various institutions, and right? And we are creating tobacco marshals, right? You can see that I have got a tobacco marshal badge here. The creating tobacco marshals in the society. And of course, we are that to have positive about life so that we don't end up with anything unusual, right? So this is, I just thought, and since you have done this screening program, and you said 300 screening had been done. Someone was talking about 300 screening programs had been done, 300 people were screened. How many of the lesions did you find? Who was the person leading that program, screening program? Anyone here who was leading the screening program? Yeah, Arush. How many lesions did you find? Beta pani yahan de dena upar. 2 pre-cancers. Of 300, if you are getting 2 pre-cancers, that implies what? परसेंटेज कितना हुआ? Exactly. That is the number that usually we will find when we do 1 lakh screening. 1 lakh screening, you are likely to get 140 people getting oral lesions. Of this, there will be approximately 30% who will be having pre-malignant lesions. Of this, there will be approximately 35 who will be having actual cancer. So this we are talking about when we are talking about a general population. But अगर हम उसको narrow down कर दें, if we narrow it down to very specific, how do we narrow it down? Arush, you had done this lesions, the screening you had done for all general population? They were your employees of this school? Wonderful. So, if we narrow it down, how do we narrow it down? to high risk, right? अगर high risk को narrow down करते हैं, तो how do we know who are these people who are likely to have? Who are these high risk people? Anyone who agrees to him? Arush? Arush, agree? How many of you agree? Please raise your hands. So, tobacco का मतलब क्या है? What do you mean by tobacco? The tobacco plant. It's a tobacco plant, nicotina. Yes. So if we narrow it down to those who are using tobacco, then what will happen? See, बोलो बेटा, ब्रेस्ट कैंसर क्या? कैंसर नो, हम बोल रहे हैं अगर हम स्क्रीनिंग प्रोग्राम जब कर रहे हैं, जब हम लोग एग्जामिनेशन कर रहे हैं, हम उसको नैरो करके केवल जो हाई रिस्क है उसको केवल हम करें. That means the general population for not taking tobacco. That means tobacco implies with cigarette as well as chewing tobacco. And nowadays we have got another area. I'll talk about it. अगर हम उसको हटा करके केवल narrow down करें, तो क्या होगा? सर ने ठीक point out कर लिया. एक और जो निकल रहा है. Yes. So if we just focus on the high risk group, the chance of picking up cancer is very high. Recently, we did a screening in one of the institutions where we had high risk of 120 people, 128 exactly we did. उसमें से 78 had oral lesions. More than 50% had oral lesions. And this was again with the Rotary group, Rotary club. We had done this, and Rotaries are very active. I am a Rotarian by So we had this institution, and 178 of 128, 78 had oral lesions. All of them were high risk, and I'll show you some pictures. And when we treated them, now the chances of them having cancer is reduced. So that is very important, and that is what we are at. ICAN Care, I have put this as ICAN Care. So ICAN Care is committed to oral cancer and tobacco control, innovation in action, sustainable solution, and accelerating progress, right? How to reach out to the people. So this is me, and this basically I have put here because I have come from, I represent two institutions. One is Max, where Akansha is also there from Max today, and where we treat cancers, and we have got one of the best centers in entire Delhi and NCR, which is the best cancer treatment center, right? So this is Max, and at ICAN Care, we are working at reaching out to the public. That is my personal endeavor, and we have now a very large group who are working across India to reach out to the public, reach out to the students, reach out to everyone, so that they don't end up with cancer or any other disease related to cancer. So if we are looking at it, if we are talking about cancer, because today we are talking about cancer, what is cancer? What is cancer? बोलो बेटा. Wonderful, जोरदार तालियां उसके लिए. Yes. क्या नाम है आपका? Wonderful. So it is basically abnormal growth of cells. And why does it occur? Because of? Wonderful. That is one of the etiology, the cause. Wonderful. Yeah, bit. Yes. Cancer? 4 stages. बहुत बढ़िया. क्या नाम है? अरे जोरदार तालियां इसके लिए. How did you come to know about it? कैसे पता चला? है? अच्छा. Okay, you learnt it before. Very good. So cancer has 4 stages, wonderful. Cancer is abnormal growth of cells. And why does it occur? Why does that abnormal growth of cells occur? Because of, yeah?
It occurs because of changes in the genetic structure of the cell, which in a way stops the cell from destroying itself and then turns into a body different from the body, like the normal body, and grows as a separate, organism, and then leaches stuff from the body.
बहुत बढ़िया. I am really amazed with the knowledge that you all have, right? And he's giving the exact things that is required, which probably even some of the doctors may not know. Another big clap for him. Wonderful, wonderful. So now my slides are just a repetition of what all you have already said, right? So it is an abnormal growth of cells, and there are trillions and trillions of cells in our body, right? Trillions of cells. And are these cells born once in our body? Then they keep on multiplying. They keep on changing. When we take a bath, lot of cells gets destroyed and new cells comes up. Hai na? So that is a cell. Every part of our body, every organ in our body, every cell in our body keeps changing. It has got a life cycle. You know, understand the cell cycle, the life cycle? So it has got a life cycle. So it keeps changing over a period of time. What are the cells in our body which does not change? Which doesn't die and renew itself? I just thought this way, I have to be a little smarter than others. Yeah? Neural cells, the brain cells, right? They don't change. जो हमारे बचपन से होते हैं वही बढ़ते जाते हैं, that they stay, they can elongate, but they don't change. Like all other cells in our body, the liver, you can cut liver into half, then it will regenerate in another back to that normal cell, right? So these are some of the cells which keep on changing, but when, because of some change, some genetic change that he has said, that takes place in particular cell, it loses its character. Now, it doesn't die, but it keeps on growing. It keeps on multiplying. The cell cycle change. So when it keeps on growing, what happens? It will become a lump. It will become a, जो गांठ बोलते हैं, गांठ बन जाएगी शरीर में, right? It becomes a lump. This lump can now become an ulcer, it can become a growth, it can become whatever, it can become a tumor. And this tumor usually can be of 2 types. One is benign, the other is malignant. What is benign? Which doesn't grow fast, it doesn't spread out, right? And malignant are which will spread out to the body. Like this one is, there will be lumps in the body which will stay as they are over a period of time, right? And there are lumps in the body which will grow like crabs. You know, cancer is depicted as a crab because it grows like a crab. It will start growing and then it will first enter into the local tissue and then it will enter into the blood vessels and then it will spread into the entire body. The stage 4, someone told there are 4 stages. The stage 4 is the stage when it has already spread into the entire body. It can go to the lungs, it can go to the bones, it can go to the brain, it can go to liver, anywhere. Benign does not grow, it can just limit themselves, it is smooth. The most important thing to understand about cancer is that to start with, it is usually painless. Any painless lump, painless growth may create a suspicious in your mind. Any lump or any growth which is, any swelling which is painful, likely to be benign or likely to be acute, maybe because of infection or some inflammation, right? So this is something that we must understand. If we do find something which is growing abnormal, we need to make sure, right? So any changes So what happens? Why some will have cancer, why others will not have cancer? The cells are changing? Yes.
Because over evolutionary time, some people might have genes that better prevent cancer than others.
So how do we know?
By checking the DNA for the genes that may help prevent cancer.
So how many of us sitting here would have the genes which has got cancer, which doesn't have?
I'm
Is
not
there
sure.
any way, okay, I'll not get into that yet, but how, this is something, since whenever there is a genetic replication, the cell cycle that takes place, right? I had not thought of showing so much because I had thought that I'm talking to a young generation, but the kids are really fantastic. I am amazed, right? So I'm just going a little bit more than I had thought of talking, right? So the cells, when they multiply, that is a DNA regeneration that takes place, the DNA multiplication, mitosis and meiosis is there. The mitosis, when it takes place, these cells, there may be, because there are lakhs of cells, lakhs of tissue that has to be there, sometimes there will be some defect, right? Now this defect can become cancerous. But the body has a mechanism that it doesn't allow it to, the defective cells to stay as it is. It will kill. How does it kill? And that is the word apoptosis, right? Apoptosis is when it is the cell, the body takes care to kill it is a self-programmed cell death. It is a programmed cell death which takes place inside our body, and everyone has it because trillions of cells are being made every day. Some cell will become defective which have to be killed by themselves, right? So that is how we make sure that only the normal cells are multiplying and are alive in our body. The cells which are defective, they die. However, if we enter into some carcinogenesis like tobacco or HIV infections or HPV infections or some type of factors which can cause cancer, they enter into our body, or when our immunity or the ability to change or to maintain our cell reduces, the chance of having cancer increases, right? The chance of having cancer increases. So what happens is, then what will happen is, we are likely to get cancer. Okay? Does it make it clear? समझ में आ रहा है? Or is it too difficult? Too difficult. So simple way में अगर हमारे बॉडी के इम्यूनिटी सही है, अगर हमारा खान पान सही है, we are unlikely to have cancer. अगर हम लोग कोई चीज ऐसा चीज कर रहे हैं जिसके कारण हमारा, so the way we live determines the way we die and when we die. So if we have got a healthy living, the chances are that we will not have any type of such diseases. So three steps of prevention is maintain good eating habits, good lifestyle, and take care of your body. Right? यहाँ पर वो आ नहीं रहा, it is a, हम अपनी किस प्रकार से हमारी रहन सहन, हमारी खान पान और हमारी देखभाल, तीन चीजें अगर हमारी ठीक है तो हम लोग unlikely that we will end up with any of these lesions, right? So just coming to very important, कितना मिनट और है? 10 minutes? I'll take 10 minutes, right? Okay. So just this is one important slide that I'm showing you. बिकॉज हम लोग जहां पर अभी आप लोग आ रहे हैं, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, सी कैंसर हमें कितनों को होगा पता नहीं, बट एक ऐसा चीज है जो हम सबको हो सकता है, एंड एवरी वन ऑफ अस आर प्रोन, एंड व्हाट इज दैट? एंड वी स्टार्टेड विद दैट ओरल लीजन्स, एंड व्हाट वाज दैट? टोबैको, एंड एवरीवन इज एक्सपोज्ड टू टोबैको, यस और नो? सब लोग, एवरीवन इज एक्सपोज्ड टू टोबैको, यस और नो? सो गए सब लोग? Yes. How do we save ourselves from tobacco? You just look at this particular picture, and this is a very important every day 5,500 people enter into this balloon, tobacco balloon. This I have shown as a balloon. 5,500 people, children, enter into this balloon. That means every year around 20 lakh people, children, start taking tobacco. Every day 3,700 people are leaving this balloon. This is a tobacco balloon which has 26 crore people in India. And it is keeping on increasing. 6.5 lakh increase every year. Right? 3,700 leave this balloon. How do they leave? कैसे छोड़ के जाते हैं? Yes? By? By? How do they stop? By? By not using it. By dying. By dying because of the use of tobacco. Do you understand the, right? That means 3,700. How many people can fly in one plane, aeroplane? In one aeroplane, what is the capacity? Two. Max 450. So how many planes are crashing every day? Approximately 10 planes are crashing every day. So many people don't die in one day as many people die because of tobacco use in India. Every day I have to tell some of the other people that we cannot do anything for you. That is the issue with tobacco, right? And this is what is happening. Sir, ये जो तीन चीज जो, are you aware of this? The simple things that is happening, you go to any parties, anywhere, Samaira, yes? You see this, what do we call it as hookah? Anyone exposed to hookah, any one of you? Tasted? Seen? Any one of you tasted it? No? Okay. What about this smoking? Cigarettes? Everywhere. And what about the vapes? Any idea about the vapes? Yeah? Someone said something? Any idea about the vapes?
Vapes are some sort of smoking only.
Are they good or bad?
They're very bad, and I think they're even worse than cigarettes.
Wonderful. जोरदार तालियां इसके लिए भी. So this is very important aspect that we need to understand, and this is what happens. This is the 5 phase of tobacco use. I'll just finish it quickly, right? The 5 phase of tobacco use. First is experiment. Yeah, it's not visible here. It was, yeah. So experiment, that is how one starts. Then comes the need, कि हम लोग को अब उसकी चाहत होने लगती है. Addiction, when we cannot quit that, it becomes like it is a demand, and then comes the incurable disease and death. These are the 5 phases of tobacco use, and this is how it happens. And अगर किसी ने भी start किया, and this is what usually happens, and we are getting this tobacco advertisements everywhere. It is in reach of everyone. छोटे से क्या बोल? It is in cinemas as well. Very good. And what has happened, the change that has happened is nowadays the heroes in the cinemas have started taking. And they are portraying that it is a good thing, but it is the worst thing to happen. So this is one specific slide that I have put for all of you children. Never ever try. Not even experiments. Not even once. Generally हमारे दिमाग में ये आता है, अरे सब बोल रहे हैं एक बार तो बनता है यार, लाइफ लॉन्ग में एक बार तो बनता है ना? आता है ना ये चीज दिमाग में? We feel that at least once तो यार, at least once we should have. पता तो चले कैसा टेस्ट है ना? But that is where we will get hooked to it. So nicotine is the highest addictive factor. Once taken, the brain wants more, right? it rewires the brain. The person will not be able to work without nicotine anymore. Once started, it is difficult to quit. Once we know it is a poison, why try it at all, right? So this is something that I specifically want to put. I think I'll stop here. There are a few more slides, but this is just a specific, I wanted to show this particular slide. This is a gentleman. You can see he's on the wheelchair. And he came to me with cancer, but before that, he had one leg amputated because he was he was a smoker. One leg had to be cut. He was from the army background. Then he continued to smoke. He had a heart attack. He had a stenting done. He continued to smoke. Then he had another leg cut because again the smoking affected the other leg. So now he can see that there is both the legs are cut, right? And then he continued to smoke. He had a renal disease. He had a kidney failure. And then finally he had cancer. When he came to me, he was incurable. He died within 1 month of coming to me, right? And this is the problem. And if you look at from here to toe, every part of our body is affected by cancer, right? So it harms every part. So I think one real message that I want to give, the last message, there is medical treatment available. अभी सबने किसी ने कहा था कि my father takes tobacco, right? So that is a clear message to all of you. I think I have got some pamphlets here also and some this thing. If you can show me, we have got a tobacco marshal pamphlet. Samira, you can distribute to people, right? And we have got certain tests also available for those who are taking tobacco, special tests. So I just want to give this one particular message that as children you can take home to everyone. Tobacco has got the highest addiction. छोड़ना बड़ा मुश्किल है, जब छोड़ते हैं तो काफी मुश्किल होती है, बट उसके लिए आज अब दवा अवेलेबल है, ट्रीटमेंट किया जा सकता है, लोगों को छुड़ाया जा सकता है. Thank you so much for the patience.
Thank you, Dr. Gupta, for your valuable insights on cancer.
Our next guest is a visionary entrepreneur and investor dedicated to fostering innovation and solving global challenges.
Mr. Bala Kamallakharan is the founder of Iceland Venture Studio and Startup Iceland, supporting startups with mission-driven solutions.
His investments have helped scale multiple startups, some of which have been acquired by companies like Princeline and NetApp. In recognition of his work, he was awarded the Order of Falcon by the President of Iceland in 2025.
He is also the president of the Reykjavik Rotary International Club and is launching a new fund focused on the blue economy. His passion for solving hard problems and empowering entrepreneurs is truly inspiring.
We are honored to have him here today with us. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Bala.
Now we invite Mr. Bala to share his insights on entrepreneurship, innovation, and impact-driven leadership.
Hello? Yeah, can you hear me? Yes. I'm Actually, I'm kind of nervous because all you kids are so smart. So I'm a little nervous talking about what I do. First, I want to ask, who all want to be entrepreneurs? Yes. Yes. Excellent. So now that you all want to be entrepreneurs, do you know what entrepreneurs do? What do you do? What does a startup do? You're starting your own business, okay? Right? You're solving a problem the world has, right? That's what you're really trying to do. Yep. Yes. Yes, exactly. Find a global problem and you solve it. So entrepreneurship is problem solving. So you're all learning how to be problem solvers, and some of you want to make that your career, and I think that's great. That's what you should do. I became an accidental entrepreneur. So I didn't plan to be one. When I was in school, I didn't even know what an entrepreneur does. Probably I didn't know how to spell it. So you're all way ahead of me in this game. I happen to live in Iceland. So I want to tell you a small story. How many of you know about Iceland? Wow, fantastic. Do you know how many people live in Iceland? 360, 70,000. So it's a very small country. But it is very advanced in lots of things. So I want to tell you a small story about how I landed up in Iceland. My wife is Icelandic. I met her in the US. We used to live in the US. Once my daughter was born, my wife wanted to go back to Iceland. And I said, I thought we were fine, happy in the US. What are we doing in Iceland? I didn't want to go to Iceland. But we moved. We moved in 2004, 2005. And I actually got a job with one of the Icelandic banks. It was a very exciting job. I actually was reporting to the CEO of the bank. And I was appointed as the head of the bank for India. So I actually even moved to Mumbai and to build the bank in India. And this was the year 2008. And how many of you know what happened in 2008? Yeah. The Great Recession. You could say that. It was the financial crisis that happened around the world. A financial crisis, that means banks were in crisis. The entire financial system in Iceland was wiped out. That is, all the banks went from being very profitable to being not so profitable. And very promptly, all the people who worked in the banks were fired. So I did not have a job. So 2008, 2009, I was fired from my very successful job as an entrepreneur, as a bank executive. My wife asked me, maybe we should just go back to the US and you get your old job back, and we'll all be okay. I don't know, maybe I went crazy, but I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to live in Iceland, and I'm going to fix this problem. And she said, what problem are you talking about? I said, I went to Bitspilani. That's where I met my friend Mukesh. And I have 3 master's degree from a US university. I was successful professional, but I couldn't get a job in Iceland. I said, I'm going to fix that problem. And she was like, how are you going to fix this problem? How can you fix a problem when you can't find a job? And I said, I'll make that my job. My job will be to fix this problem, to create jobs. I said, who are these people who create jobs? I wanted to find out. And I went and looked around. I noticed these people who are building new businesses, and they were creating jobs because they were actually solving a problem in the world. And in order to solve the problem in the world, you need help. You need people to help you. And they were actually creating these jobs. I said, you know what? I want to be like those people who are creating these jobs. So I did, went and talked to a lot of people in Iceland. There was not a lot of people, very few actually. And I looked around and said, what nobody else was doing. At that time, nobody was talking about technology-based startups and founding companies using technology in Iceland. And this was right after the financial collapse, and Iceland was not known for software or technology or anything like that. Iceland is a country which is very rich with natural resources like fish and energy and so on and so forth. And nobody was talking about technology-based companies, and I said, so that's what I will do. I'll basically help these founders who are building technology-based companies, and by solving that problem, I will create jobs. And once I create a job, hopefully I'll get a job too. So that's how this whole journey started. I went around and met a lot of people, and I met one founder, a couple of founders, and I really liked what they were doing. I had, by the way, no money. But I said I'm an investor. I'm an investor in startups, because what that did was it allowed me to meet a lot of founders, because I was curious, what are these people doing? And I liked one of the teams, and I saw that they were solving a problem. How many of you know about artificial intelligence? Great, fantastic. Do you know what makes artificial intelligence possible? Anybody? Data, right? Data. So you probably have heard about large language models, right? What is a large language model? It's basically a data of language, basically all the words. So we're basically teaching machines how to read words. And this company in 2009, founders who are 23, 24 years old were building a large language model for Icelandic. And I was very excited about that. I thought that was very clever and cool. And I wanted to help them. And they basically needed money because they wanted to hire people to solve this hard problem because they didn't have money to buy computers. And these were kids who had no network. That is, they didn't know big people or business people or banks or anything like that. So I started working with them, and I raised some money for them using my family. Basically, my family in India, I basically borrowed money from my family because nobody would trust me with anything at that time. I invested all of that money in these young founders, 23, 24 years old. And I sat with them every day, and we built this company. This company was called Clara. So what Clara did was it basically analyzed all the online forums, text analytics. It analyzed all of that, and it helped game companies understand the gamers, what they were saying, why they were saying this, so they could help them improve the game. And quickly, this company went from, having nothing to start making money. They were still burning a lot of money, and we needed more money. So I thought that, hey, I've found a problem, it's fixed, now this problem can be useful. And I went all around Iceland, because I used to work for a bank, I knew a lot of people who were rich. I went to all of them and I said, we solved this problem, maybe you should invest in this company. Almost everybody looked at me like I'd lost my mind. Everybody. I even have a screenshot of a newspaper article that said in Icelandic, crazy Indian investor in Iceland, and put a picture of me. But that company, within 3 years, was acquired by a NASDAQ-listed company called Jive Software. And a lot of these 23-year-old kids became millionaires. It was a lot of work, but that happened. And why am I telling you the story? Yes.
Start up your own business like them.
Right. So in order to be successful like them, I'm telling you the story to be like them and to be successful, right? True. Success is a fruit of hard work, right? You have to do the hard work and you get success based on that. But you can't predict how you're going to be successful or not. So when you start, a lot of these things look like crazy things. Nobody believes in you. But you should still have the courage to do them because you think this problem is worth solving, right? That's what entrepreneurs do. So you need to go from many people not believing in you to one person believing in you, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So you need to have the courage to handle rejection because people will not accept when you want to change something. Don't let that stop you. Even when they call you crazy, even when they ask you, they put it on a newspaper. I didn't stop because I thought this was worth going after and building. And that company became successful. The second company that I invested in also was acquired by another company. And I looked around and I said, why isn't the entire country of Iceland supporting this initiative? The second problem I wanted to solve. I said, okay, I am going to solve this problem. I want to change Iceland to become a vibrant place for entrepreneurs and startup founders. So I founded Startup Iceland. It was a conference that brought all entrepreneurs into one room, built a community of founders, and we ran this conference for about 10 years until 2023. So why am I telling you about building this community? Why is that important? Anybody? Collaboration. Learn from each other. By the way, you are now a community. You're all learning from each other. Not just from your teacher, not just from speakers, but you're learning from each other because each of you have something unique to share about the world. You can learn from each other, right? When you learn from each other, you actually raise your friend, right? You raise everybody around you. And the reason I got the award from the president was because of that. Because I raised a lot of people to create their own jobs in Iceland. And again, it's not just Iceland. This problem can be solved everywhere. And you're all going to solve it, not just for India, but for the world, right? 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 No? Yes, yes, yes. Because I see all of you so confident, so joyful, smiling. That's what we need to do. We need to take on hard problems with that smile on your face and say, we're going to go fix this. And you can do it. All of you can do it. And the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years is India's time. You know, India is going to lead the world on many things. Okay? How am I so confident? Because I see you all. You are going to do this, right? You're all going to do this. So I'm excited about, where we are in this journey. So my talk was about building the future. And I wanted to give you a glimpse of how I built my future. In 2009, I didn't know where it would land. I didn't know all these things will happen, but I had a view of taking on a challenge and working towards solving it, and by that, I actually changed my future. Today, I don't have to look for a job because I have plenty of things to do myself. I've created many jobs for myself. My wife continuously asks me, when are you going to get a proper job? and I always say, I have many, so I don't need one. You can do the same. I'm not saying you should go after a problem like I did, but you can go after the problems that you care about, right? You need to care about some things. And we're all taught the world is a certain way. But that's not true. You can create the world you want to see, right? That's what definitely optimistic people do. And those are the founders and entrepreneurs. So that's why I cheered everybody who said, I'm an entrepreneur, because what you're really telling me is that you're definitely optimistic about the future, and you're going to build a future that you think is possible. And that's very inspiring, right? That's very exciting. So hopefully, you all live up to that, and you do that. I think you're in good company, right? I think you're in good company here. You know, there are many, many entrepreneurs here who have solved problems for the world. I think you can learn from them. You can learn from everybody around you, and go build the future you want to see. Thank you very much.
A heartfelt thank you to both of our esteemed speakers, Dr. Pawan Gupta and Dr. Bala Kamallakharan, for their time, wisdom, and inspiring words.
To express our gratitude, we now invite Mr. Sharma, our chairman, and Mr. Abraham, our school director, and Ms. Anisha, the primary school principal, to present a token of appreciation.
Once again, let's give a big round of applause for our guest speakers.
On behalf of Max and I Can Care, I want to invite Samaira. Samaira, where are you? So to come on to here so that I can give you some token of appreciation from our side. Yeah, please. Samara connected with me. She did not know me. She talked to me, and I'm really glad that she has been able, she has called me here and she has taken this wonderful initiative. So all applause for her and a small token of Uh, I came to understand that some of the students, their relatives are taking tobacco. They may be needing help, right? So I have got this special coupons, right? We have got 25 of them. Those who need help, we will give them free consultation, right? At Max Hospital, at Max Vaishali. Anyone in their family who are taking tobacco, who has some lesions, who need any type of help on the medical aspect. Yeah, please, sure. So you can connect with her, or you can connect with Samira. Samira, you can take the end. We can, these are certain coupons which we can give. So thank you so much. I think, wonderful. You can take this.
Great day.
Oh, thank you.
To officially conclude today's event, we invite our chairman, Mr. Sharma, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Static. Well, thank you, Dr. Pawan. It was a pleasure to have you here. And the session that you did for our students today was very, very helpful. And I'm very sure, our students have got the message. Even though they've not got that badge, but all of us are going to be marshals now, tobacco marshals. Okay.
Another special offer for all the students. Although we charge for making tobacco marshals, but with your permission, we will give free tobacco marshal course. This course is basically for training for the senior, actually anyone who wants to become tobacco marshals like Samira, right? We will have the cap, the badges, the certificates given free to them, those who will register. Of course, Samira, you can take the names, those who will register, so we can come and give them a special class.
That'll be awesome. Thank you very much. A big round of applause for Dr. Pawan. All right. That's the spirit. You're saving the planet, saving mankind. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank my friend from BITS Pilani, Bala, for coming and sharing his journey, for motivating and encouraging you to take that path. And I think one of the words that I thought that you wanted to hear was, success will come, but there is a lot of resilience that is required. And for everyone, it already knows, resilience is our core value. At Prometheus, resilience is one of the first core values that we have. With that, I would also like to congratulate the Prometheus Interact Club for driving it. I think it was amazing, very, very meaningful. I think, we should not just have it as one time activity. It needs to be in continuation. We should have something planned every month, okay? I also want to mention here that Bala's visit coincided with our Tech Week, which is going on. Instead of, so today we had to, put the Tech Week, give Tech Week a break. But then I thought that it makes sense for us to have a tech entrepreneur come and have an interaction with our secondary students and motivate them to consider solving problems that they see around themselves. Once again, thank you very much, and it was a pleasure to have you both with us. Thanks, everyone.
As we conclude Cancer Awareness Week, we extend our heartfelt thanks to all the students, teachers, volunteers, and medical professionals who contributed to this initiative.
And a special thank you to Dr. Pawan Gupta and Mr. Bala for their valuable time and wisdom today.
We also thank our school leadership for their support and, of course, the Prometheus School Interact Club for leading this meaningful initiative.
Let's remember, awareness is ongoing, early detection saves lives, and every effort counts.
On behalf of the Interact Club, thank you all for being part of this campaign.
Have a wonderful day ahead.
Primary students,